Now let's understand the concept of scrolling. If the content of our application is big enough that it doesn't fit in our screen, at that time we have to implement the scroll view. Suppose there are a bunch of containers. For example, I'll put those containers inside a column. Let's give the height of this container to 100 and color to red for the purpose of visibility. Okay, sorry. And I will give the color of red for this container. Right now this container is visible in our screen. Suppose I have 5 different containers. I'll assign different color for these containers. Okay, right now I have 5 different containers. In this scenario, all of these containers are perfectly fit inside our app. Let's create a bunch of others as well. Okay, whenever the content is greater than the height or the width of the screen size, then we'll see this type of error. The error is bottom overflowed by 37 pixels, which denotes that right now the container is not fit in this display, and some of these containers are behind the display, which cannot be shown to the user. So we will face this kind of issue. If you scroll this screen, you don't see any scrolling effect. In order to implement that scrolling effect, we have to implement scroll view, single child scroll view widget. Let's wrap this column into a single child scroll view by just wrapping this with widget, and let's give the name of the widget to single child scroll view. We are wrapping column into a single child scroll view because right now we are going to implement scrolling effect inside this column, as it is holding a bunch of containers that is not going to fit in our screen. Whenever I save these and perform a hot reload, I can see the error has been gone, and we can now scroll this. Let's just add couple of modes as well. I'll just copy these containers and paste. Right now you can see we have implemented scrolling effect in our app. There are a couple of properties associated with single child scroll view. If you place a mouse above the single child scroll view, you can see there are axes which determines the direction of the scrolling. Reverse, should we do reverse scrolling or not, and couple of other more properties. Right now we have implemented single child scroll view in our mobile app, so we have this vertical scrolling container here. By default the scrolling direction is vertical. As you can see, the scroll direction has a values of axis.vertical by default. There is no any indicator in our scroll view. In order to add the indicator, we have to wrap this single child scroll view in a new widget scroll bar. If you click this icon here, you can just click on the wrap with U widget and search for the scroll bar. If we wrap this scroll view inside our scroll bar, we can see there is a little indicator on the right side. We can change the thickness of the scroll bar as well, and you can see the thickness has been changed. Let's stick to original thickness and let's implement the scroll view in our horizontal direction. Right now we have these containers aligned vertically in a column. That's why we need vertical direction scrolling. However, I'll change this column to row. So now the child will be aligned horizontally. Right now I haven't provided the width property of the container. That's why we cannot see any container. Let's provide the width property on rate. I can see the container of rate here. Similarly, I will add width of 100 in other containers as well. Okay, after adding the widths in all of this container, I can see similar type of error that we have encountered previously. Right now there is an error called right overflowed by 607 pixel. That means beyond this screen there are others container that is taking total 607 pixel of the space, which cannot be shown to the user because we have not implemented scroll view yet. So in order to make this container scrolling, let's wrap the row into our single child scroll view as we have already done that. In a single child scroll view, I have already mentioned that scroll direction initially will be on a vertical direction. That's why the scrolling will be implemented on a vertical direction if the container will be overflowed, but here the container is overflowed in the horizontal direction and we have not implemented scroll view in the horizontal direction. Let's give the scroll direction to horizontal and let's reload this app. We can see no issue here after we have implemented horizontal direction of scrolling, and we can easily scroll out this content. So make sure that which directions, horizontal or vertical, do we need in a scrolling effect for any container. And don't forget to add this indicator because it will make us visible and let users know that this is a scroll view, and it will denote the starting and the ending position of any scroll view.